What happened was.
Hey friends, it's so nice to see you. It's today, the time is now. You are here and the weather is outside your window.
Today's guest is an extraordinary international artist who possesses one of the most exquisite operatic voices on the planet Earth. Please welcome Grammy Award winner and star of Madama Butterfly at Dallas Opera February 18th through 26th, Latonia Moore.
Hello.
Hey,
How are you?
I am good. I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. It's good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you too. I'm here in, sweet old beautiful weather, New York.
Yeah.
Getting it going. It's
Yeah.
actually nice. You know what I mean? It's
It's
a
a nice
little bit
day
chilly,
today.
but it's been nice.
Yeah, I was just outside.
Yeah.
It was bitter cold last week, and now it's like pretty okay.
Yeah, schizo springtime. That this is that weird part of winter. You just never know what you're gonna get.
Right.
Especially in Dallas, as it turns out, that's the craziest weather.
Right. Well, and you're from Texas originally.
I am. I'm from Houston. And I have to say, when I was a little girl, I don't remember it ever getting really, really cold. But
Yeah.
as I got older, I think the year that I actually left Houston and moved to Dallas, it snowed. For the first time in my life, it snowed. And this was like early 1997.
Wow.
And I remember I was just like, I can't believe it. All these years I wondered what a white Christmas would be like. Boom. There it is in Houston. It was kind of unbelievable, but then I went to Dallas and that's where I really discovered what snow can really be like. I was like, wow, it snows here. In fact, my first week of school at University of North Texas was canceled because of, one snowstorm. Because
Wow.
they know how to handle it.
No,
they're like, what's
of course not.
happening?
They don't have salt trucks and plows on standby for such things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I grew up in Florida, so I don't know snow, until I went to college, and it was a rude awakening.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, God, especially being from Florida, because it's one thing to be from Houston, because like I said, I don't remember it being very cold, but it would get chilly, it would get cold.
Yeah.
Not so much Florida. What part of Florida are you from?
So a little bit north of Tampa.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay. It can get down a little bit. A nice 58 degrees at some point, maybe.
Sure. Maybe once a year there's a frost and we worry about the oranges, and then it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's different. But wow. Well, I have to tell you, I think I've told you this before, but the first time I ever saw you perform was in Philadelphia. You were at AVA and doing a concert in Rittenhouse Square. And I was just walking through. I was a kid, in college, and I was there rehearsing a project, and I heard the singing, and it was you. And I made my way towards the stage and was just blown away. And it's been so cool to watch your meteoric rise ever since then, and just to see all the incredible things you've done. I'll just never
thank you.
Hearing you from afar and walking towards the sound of your voice.
Well, thank you. That's so sweet. But I'll say this: I'd hardly call my career meteoric in any way. You asked me, it was a slow moving thing, like not moving. I have been blessed and I've had a great career, but I tell you, I really had to wait. I had to do a lot of covering. At the very beginning, I had lots of other odd jobs. And just when I felt like a door was opening, another one would shut. For me, my career has been like slow and steady wins the race. I'm the turtle.
That's not a
Okay.
bad thing, though.
Because and then let me tell you, you know, I was so extremely excited to finally win a Grammy last year. Okay. And the reason why it's so significant for me is I was at the Grammys 25 years before I won it. I was on the stage actually at the Grammys. And the person that I was standing next to, I was a part of a Grammy choir because I was a jazz singer in high school.
Wow.
And they had chosen me, one of 16 young singers from across the country, to go and be in this Grammy choir, record a CD, perform with Santana. It was amazing. I'm crazy. I mean, so good.
Yeah.
So I'm standing there on the stage there in LA. And I turned to the person standing next to me and I said, I'm gonna win one day. Okay. Years go by. I'd done recordings. I recorded with Deutsche Grammophon, Mahler Second. I was like, is this it? No. You know, I recorded Macbeth. I recorded The Ordering of Moses and James Conless. And so all of these random things started popping up as far as recordings. And I was like, this one? And I was like, no. This one? No. This one? Years and years and years and years went by. And I actually never gave up hope. Like something in me was just that little 17-year-old going,
Yeah.
it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, this is the time, it's gonna happen. And so Porgy got nominated and I was just like, this could be it, but I said it every single time. So inside I was just like, okay, of course this is not gonna happen because, you know, that's your inner saboteur. It's always something in there that's telling you it's not gonna happen because after 25 years, why would it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So almost to the date, 25 years later, I won. And when I got the Grammy in my hand, I mean, I realized what my whole career and everything has been about. Perseverance,
Wow.
having absolute unwavering faith that it's going to happen. Maybe it won't happen exactly like you think it will. Maybe no, I did not get a Grammy a la my Mariah Carey style for my third album. No, that's not how it happened. Sure. I mean, in my mind, that's what was going to happen, you know, but it didn't happen that way. But it happened. Okay. Yeah. Like I said, I want to sing in this specific house, this certain house. I'm waiting for them to hire me. Okay. Maybe it's been umpteen years and I still haven't been hired there. But dagnammit, I'm going to sing in Vienna. I mean, I just decided it's going to happen. I've been wanting it since forever and I still haven't. But I'm going to believe that it happens and continue to believe that it will. And it probably is going to happen just because I'm undaunted by failure. Yet I'm met with, you know, failure, different points at every turn, you know what I mean? It's just, but if you just keep going, no matter what it is you do, you keep going, you'll feel fulfilled because you'll be doing what you want to do, right? You're going toward the goals, you know what I mean? Like, you know, any events that happen, it's all progress. Even if it seems like a failure, it's progress, right? Yeah. Because you're just like, man, even after a failure, I picked myself back up. Unreal. I can't believe it. I'm proud of myself.
Yes.
This is one thing that I'm a huge advocate of. And it's people stop being like so self-deprecating or falsely modest, you know, things like that. I'm just like, I'm sorry. If you know that you are the deal, it's okay for you to believe that you're the deal and to say you are. You know why? Because if you wasn't the deal, you wouldn't be here, would you? Right. So we already know you the deal. Be proud of it. Yeah. Let us know. Because if I tell you I'm the deal and everybody's watching, I'm just like, you know, I got it together. I really got it going on. You know, it's gonna make somebody else. It's contagious. They'll feel it too, and they'll be like, dang, you know what? She's right. I kind of got it going on. Yeah. You know what I mean? No matter what it is, you know, someone's chosen field or whatever they feel like is not going to happen, or, you know, they don't feel confident about X, Y, or Z. Whenever you see somebody else doing it, it is and should be contagious, right? Yeah. Because it all feeds into always getting the energy you need to accomplish what it is you want. Streamlining with unwavering faith, you know, knowing that you can make it happen just like that. You know what I mean? Yes. And I'm sorry, sometimes just like that is going to take 25 years, okay? Yeah. But what else would I do in life? I mean, because the truth is, let's say I never won a Grammy ever. Right. I would not go and be on my deathbed on the last day. I wouldn't be there sad about the fact that I never won a Grammy. I would probably be like super impressed with the fact that I still probably believed, even in that bed, I was gonna get one.
Yeah. And you might.
That's how you live. And
Yeah.
exact posthumous, right? And that's the way to live, man.
Yeah.
Like the most amazing thing about being, a living being like we are, right, is just faith.
Mm.
I mean, because what is it, right? You can't really touch it. You don't know what it is. Hope and faith and
Right.
things like that. It's just such a powerful energy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So and being hopeful for something, don't ever be afraid of disappointment.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because it's a likelihood no matter what, right? At some point you're going to be disappointed. This is not going to work out, X, Y, and Z. Just keep using it, like I said, like sort of take those failures, take the disappointments, whatever, and be like, okay, I was rocking it. Okay, and it didn't work out, but I rocked it to the end. And so how can I do better?
Absolutely.
I mean, I spent so much of my life, being down in the dumps about what I didn't have,
Mm.
And what didn't go right, harping on all the negative things. Oh, I got a bad review one time in 2007. and it would creep back in my head like 5 years later. And I'm just like,
Yep.
why am I thinking about something that in the grand scheme of things was just a little speck?
Yeah.
And the other thing is sort of, you have to think about it this way. This person cared enough to review me, okay? They put me in the review, and it was for a role. I remember this review. It was for a role that wasn't very big. You know what I mean? It was like a small sort of thing, and he mentioned me anyway, and he didn't like it. But I was just like, but he remembered me, right?
Yeah.
Like he remembered I was there. I went up and did something. Like he could have skipped over me entirely, because you know how reviewers are, they shady and they will skip.
Yeah, they will.
But I mean, yeah, you know what I mean? Like every little bit that happens is a part of a big journey, you know what I mean? Like, but you got to take those little bits with a grain of salt and just, give them the most positive energy and spin you can in life. Because good Lord, I mean, this is all you get, I mean, and the only way to live life to the fullest is to go ahead and accept everything as something that, even if you don't like it, might be necessary. And it's just something that you can stack on top of, but keep going up. Yeah.
Yeah. Because
I know, I don't know how this turned into this like inspirational like talk.
I'm here for it. Thank you.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
No,
like I just think because I'm talking to a fellow artist right now who can relate. I know that your path was not cut and dry and easy. No. Of course it wasn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How could you be? You know, but now look at you, Grammy nominee.
Hey, thanks.
So proud, so proud. Congratulations. You won a Grammy before?
No, but I'm ready.
Let's get this Grammy. I'm hoping for it for you. No offense to the other operas that are nominated. So if they rock it, good on them.
Listen, what a group of people to be nominated in that category. And
I know.
I'm so proud to be in that group. And also, I think it truly represents the industry and the way artists are steering the industry and taking responsibility for the future of the art form. And I think that's really crucial right now, especially after we've been dark for 2 years, right? Because we haven't really been. We've been doing things, and we sure
have been doing things. And I mean, and I will maintain that the reason why we are still standing, I'd love to say that it's just that someone had a great idea and, we're really keeping it all innovative. But don't forget, man, I mean, it takes a shit ton of courage as a singer to pick back up.
Yes.
After you've been, with seemingly just erased, like your whole career is just at a standstill. Yeah. You know what I mean? But for any of us to pick back up, or for any of the people that never stop singing, you know what I mean? Like that is major in my book.
Oh yeah.
Because for some people it was very hard, and some of them chose to stop singing. I respect their decision. Absolutely. Because the truth is, just because a career like this stops doesn't mean your life does, do it? No. You know what I mean? Where you gonna get the food? Right. Who's gonna pay their bills? Right. You know what I mean? You have to do what you have to do. So I get it. And I also really applaud the people that were able to push through, man, because look at what's happened, and in our form, we thought would just be permanently damaged. Now there is a permanent dent. We can't deny that.
open.
But I mean, so what? We driving around with a dent. That's fine. We got the dent. Car's
Yeah.
still working, and we believe that it's still working. We didn't let one dent in our car prevent us from entering the car shop, right?
Right.
You know, because why would you? Okay, you've got a flaw. You know, does your car still drive? You know, does your voice still work? Can you, for the people who did come up with the ideas to do operas on a racetrack, in a parking garage, you know, old school
Zoom.
movie drive-ins,
Everywhere.
badass. I mean, absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, this pumped me up so hard during the pandemic to see things like that happening.
Yeah.
To see people, the young singers who are in school still, okay, and they see everything stop. They're like, what?
Yeah.
My future is nothing now. You know what I mean? Like, it was terrible. But what happened? People started saying, okay, social media, this is it. This is our outlet now. I'm going to post everything. I'm posting my singing. I'm posting my dancing. I'm posting me singing with myself and a guitar with 4 screens.
Yeah.
I'm doing, you know, whatever it takes. Like, because, and let me tell you, as an opera singer, I have in the past had a very antiquated attitude as far as moving forward, like mixing it with pop, doing newer opera, putting on social media, updating. And I was a fuddy-duddy before. But then I realized, I'm just like, Latonia, there's a reason why this art form has been around for centuries.
Yeah.
And it's not because it stayed exactly the same.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If we don't grow, if we don't keep it going, then the art form will die. See, the reason why Maria Callas is famous is because of me and because of you. And because of all of those people who still worship what she was, right?
Yeah.
And we take that fire with us, and it's our job to make it grow.
Mm-hmm.
Not try to imitate, not try to keep the fire at the same place, make it bigger. You know what I mean? And we do that from past inspiration. And the future of opera, all the young singers wouldn't even know about Maria Callas if it wasn't for us, right?
Right.
And the future past that, 100 years from now, they would never know Latonia Moore if it's not for the ones after me, right? The ones that carried on my name, you know? So we must keep going, you know what I mean? Because that's what opera has always done. So yeah, okay, pandemic, you know, you try to kill us, you know, it's not gonna happen. We're like ants, we're like roaches, artists.
Yeah.
You know we are, honey. We can survive on barely any money.
That's for sure.
And a dream. You know what I mean?
And a dream.
Roaches come in, they're like, we ain't got nothing. We're gonna go find it. And you know they will.
Yeah.
And they will persevere. We roaches, okay? Maybe there's not as many of us. Maybe we're outnumbered when it comes to, like, you know, people and roaches and everything. But we keep going. And that's how it is for an artist. And that's how it is for an opera singer. You know, keep moving forward. Don't get your sedity titty noses in the air and say, this is not traditional. Well, when Tibaldi did it. Okay, Tibaldi did it. Go on, get out of here. You know what I mean? Let's keep rocking. Do you want to hear Tosca or not?
Yes. Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, let's go. We're still alive. Let's keep rocking. Like, I mean, I just, you know, I'm just so big in life about supporting people, you know, moving forward positively, and just don't ever be stagnant. You know, I hate to use like something like this, but if it don't bring you joy, you know, you should get rid of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
if, like, for instance, if you're in a job that you're making really, really great money, it's amazing, but you'd rather be doing something else because that's what brings you the happiness. That's your fire, it's your passion. Go do the other thing that doesn't pay as much money.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes there are people, they've been amazing opera singers that I know of that are incredible, but their heart is in a completely different career.
Sure.
You know, and sometimes I do tell them, I'm just like, go do it.
Yeah.
So what, you won't make as much money?
And there's no
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You keep putting your energy toward that thing you want to do, the money will come. It'll be enough. Like, you know, choose the thing you should be doing. You know what I mean? For all of those people that are scared to be who they are. I don't know who I am and what I identify as. I'm just a normal this and that, but you know inside you're not. Stop all that. Just go ahead and do it. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of promise it'll be fine. You know what I mean? Like, how could it not be if you're doing exactly what it is you want?
Right.
I mean, who can combat an energy like that if you decided I'm doing this and I'm putting all my passion in it? That's nothing can slice an energy like that, honey.
No.
But something can slice right through an energy that's just like, I'm doing this job because I get benefits.
Sure.
You know, it's sliced right through.
Right.
You know, because you know that you're doing it for the wrong reasons. You're not doing it because your insides are in it. You're doing just because of the stuff outside. And
like
in the end, the very end of your life, you'll think, wow, I wish I would have been a pilot.
Oh.
Wow, I wish I actually would have been a nurse. I should have done it. Wow, I wish I would have been an opera singer. I just wish I would have tried it. Nobody wants to be there in the end wishing that they had done something different. So just y'all, for those listening, do it now. Okay.
Yes.
I can jump off my box now.
No, stay on the box forever. I needed that desperately. And yeah, that fortitude, that grace, and that perseverance and determination. And really, you have to be your own best friend in this industry. So knowing that you're good, as you said, knowing you're the deal, that's okay, you know? And
yeah.
not being
I've been
humble,
inspired by, you know, and even people younger than me, you know, I've been learning from them. And sometimes it surprises people. They're like, why are you even like listening to what she's saying about? Why'd you ask this girl's advice? She's 24 years old. I'm like, she's a soprano like I am. And I love the way she flipped in her passaggio, and I'd like to flip mine like that. So I just want to learn. I don't care if she's 24.
You're amazing.
Like she's a thing. To me, it's an equal level thing. I did a master class at the end of last year for the Met, for the Lindemann Young Artist Program.
Yeah.
Oh my God, time of my life I had, you know what I mean? And when the master class was over, all the singers appreciated how I treated them like an equal, because they are equals.
They are.
We may be at different levels of the career, but we're in the exact same career. So as much as I was sitting there being the master, you know, and teaching them,
sure,
we're both opera singers. We all opera singers.
Yeah.
Regardless of level, this is what we do. So if you're going to have a student and you're teaching them your craft, you have to respect them to a certain degree. I mean, well, yeah, you have to treat them like they're on the same level. They may be a student, but they're an artist just like you. Talk to them like they're artists.
Yes.
Don't talk to them like they're below you in any way, because nobody wants to learn in that atmosphere. You know, when a person wants to, the best teachers, I feel like even in grade school, if you're teaching young children, are teachers that talk to a child like they care. The ones who slow down and speak kind of like they do. Because you do that, it makes a child feel like, you respect me.
Right.
Okay, maybe they don't know how to say that at age 4 or 5. I mean, my son just turned 5, you know, but he likes when I talk to him like he talks to me, and that I repeat the words he says just the way he did, because I'm listening. Yeah. I care. You matter. Wow. Even if they don't know how to voice it, it grows them up into, you know, a proper person, into one that's feeling confident and good about things, and one that knows what it's like to have respect and when you're not getting it. Because, you know, sometimes people will disrespect you, you know, and I would hope that my son grows up to be the sort of person that if he is being disrespected, he'll call it and say, okay, stop, hold on, we start over.
Yeah. I'm
Julian, nice to meet you. Now let's talk, you know, as people like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is the proper way to be with people, is to always see that you can relate to them in some way. You know what I mean? Because they'll be more receptive to anything it is you have to say. You know what I mean? Right. Just another little tidbit, you know, of things that I most certainly wasn't always this way. You know what I mean? It took years of growing and getting to know myself, and also raising children and seeing how young humans think, the way they operate, and how brilliant, you know, young, like very, very young humans are, you know, because they think in a very simple way, because they haven't been conditioned yet to think in another way.
Right.
You know, so everything is cut and dry. You know, one funny thing that happened during the pandemic is I was about to get on an interview thing, like talking to a bunch of young students. And my daughter, who at the time was 5, she wanted to know like how she could sing, like just, you know, regular pattern on the staff. That's all she wanted to do, right? So I said, okay, well, let me explain it to you. And I take out my magic marker on the balcony window and I start drawing a staff with a treble clef. And she's like, okay. So she goes, dee, 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 and runs out of breath. Okay. And she tries it again. I said, come on, you can take a breath. She's like, dee, 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 dee. And she didn't make it. She drops down to the floor and start doing push-ups. Okay. You know, she didn't get it from me. I'm not the push-up type, y'all, just in case you wonder. It's not my thing, right? So I said, what are you doing? She was like, I'm trying to make my stomach strong so I can do the thing. And I was like, what? So her instinct was like, let me strengthen my support so that I can have the air and I can really support without running out. And I'm like, wow. It blew my brain back. I thought my wig was gonna fly off. I was just like, this is brilliant. So what did I do? I get down and I do 2 push-ups. I almost had a heart attack, but aside from that, like I was like, oh, something popped. You know, it was so funny. I remember telling my friend about it. He was like, yeah, those are muscles. You know, it's just muscles. You're just not used to using those, are you? And I'm like, but I mean, it was amazing that this is what she thought to do. She also taught me how to swim, by the way, months before that, because she learned very, very early. She was a really good swimmer by like 18 months old. Wow. She walked at 9.5 months. Oh my goodness. So I've always been terrible and terrified at swimming. And she took me in the swimming pool and I was just like, I just don't want to. And she was like, hold my hand. She said, we're in the water. So you're not that big, mama. I was like, but out of the water? She said, we're in the water. Come on. You know, she's like, come on. So she's holding my hands and then she takes me underwater and I start freaking out. So she gets my body out, you know what I mean? Push me to the side. She's like, it's okay. She said, why you go so crazy? You know, she was just like, oh my God, don't go crazy in the water. And I was like, it's true. My problem is that I automatically panic. Wow. Even in the shallow end, it was a mental issue. And I've always known that. But when you're called out by a 5-year-old, you kind of start, you know, recognizing that, okay, maybe there's something to this. If a person that thinks so simply, remember young people, right? Them young humans. Yeah. Just think so simply and basic about things. I mean, you know, thousands of dollars of therapy, you know, they haven't been able to tell me that it's just anxiety and me actually listen to that as the real anecdote, right? Right. Instead, I wait for a 5-year-old to tell me. And it worked. I'm not nearly as terrified, or at least I don't panic immediately anymore. Wait a little bit, panic later.
Was that something you experienced ever on stage, or was stage kind of always a safe place for you?
Well, you know, stage was a safe place for me until I started to get further along in my career and I started to feel real pressure. Oh. And at first, I couldn't deal with the pressure. You know, it was hard. I mean, I made such a crazy Met debut, like jumping on for somebody else and like
title role.
And after that, everything just took off and I wasn't mentally prepared for it. Wow. I just wasn't. I was just like, man, this is a lot of pressure. I'm like, because now not am I only doing Aida everywhere. They expect me to be as good as I was every time.
Right. Well, like let's unpack that. You made your Met debut on stage singing the title role in Aida for
in 2012,
a worldwide broadcast, right? So
yes, yeah. I was covering.
So there you are, and there's video, so everyone sees it. And so how can you not be compared to that? And
yeah, I mean, it was wow, man, I couldn't even believe it happened. It really was a crazy situation getting to go on because I was covering Violetta Romana, an amazing mezzo soprano who was singing soprano at the time, singing Aida. Yeah. But she's stunning. I mean, wow. And she canceled the last 2 shows. Wow. So she canceled a 6th show and I was her cover and they didn't put me on. Instead, they put on Sandra Rabanovsky. Okay. And so Sandra came in and she did the show and she was gorgeous. Okay. And so of course, you know, the administration was like, we would like you to do the Saturday broadcast. She said, I'm not going to do it. And they were like, you know, look, sorry. She said, I'm not going to do it. Put on Latonia. This is crazy. She sung Aida like by that time I had actually done quite a few productions, you know what I mean? And so she was like, she's done it everywhere. You know, you're going to put her on. I'm going home. And we were like, what? Wow. So yeah, I didn't actually know about that until recently, very recently. She told me what happened. Wow. I said, oh my God. So thank you, Sandra. You know what I mean? She's looking out for her girl. Now, I had worked with Sandra before. I remember we were double cast doing Ernani in Trieste, Northern Italy. And that's where I first met her. And she just, I don't know, she was just a cool, like very cool soprano. Usually you think, or I've always, you know, been under the impression that the mezzos are always cooler because they're mezzos.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
But so she's got a mezzo personality, soprano vibe, but mezzo personality. So
Yeah.
I mean, we hit it off, you know, and so I love that, you know, even years later, and she hadn't seen me for a bit, she still had my back.
That's amazing.
You know?
What a story.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness, that gave me
Yeah.
chills. Yeah. And what,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you've done many more Met broadcasts now. I've done one, and I would say it was amazing, but took years off my life.
Oh my God, totally.
A lot of pressure. What was that like for you? Did you think
A little
about
bit.
in that moment, like, oh, everyone in the world is watching this, or were you just like on your show in the role? Like, how did you process that?
Well, look, for my debut for Aida was a radio broadcast, and it wasn't an
Okay.
HD broadcast. It was
Okay.
only on the radio. So, but you know, that reaches a wide, but in my opinion, the radio reaches a wider audience because people have always tuned in for that Saturday broadcast, you know, like, yeah, I mean, that's how we hear everything. So there were 11 million listeners, whereas, you know, even for the HD performances, sometimes it's not quite that big a crowd, even when you add it all up, you know, watching it at that time. But for me, you know, I didn't think so much about people watching anything, you know, especially because when I did the HDs, like for Porgy and for Fire, Shut Up My Bones, they were at the end of the run.
Right.
Okay. So we had already done so many performances, in which I did face a lot of pressure, especially doing Porgy and Bess the first time around, because my only actual production of Porgy and Bess has been this Met production. I had never done Serena before this production. And this actual show opened in 2018 at ENO.
Right.
Then we did it to, we took it to Amsterdam, Dutch National Opera, and then to the Met. But I had never done Serena other than that. So when we got to the Met, of course, I mean, I don't know how much everybody knows about it, but the chorus was contracted outside of the regular Met chorus. So they contracted a whole separate ensemble. But this ensemble is not any mere ensemble. It's full of 60 soloists.
Yeah. It's a
that are just as good as the soloists that are up there doing the roles. So when we got in those first rehearsals and the chorus started singing, we were all like,
who are you?
Yeah. Like, wow, we need to step it up. You know, we were like, oh my God, Jesus. I mean, it's an unbelievable sound.
Yeah.
There were a lot of fabulous things that happened on that Grammy recording that got the Grammy, but I tell you what clinched it was that ensemble. Because I mean, just, it's tremendous. I mean, imagine, you know, 15 of me, like 15 of Eric Owens, you know what I mean? Like all of these singers, you know what I mean? And you just turned around and it was extremely intimidating. So as we went through the run, I felt constantly judged by the ensemble because, you know, I mean, a lot of them had done Serena, whereas I hadn't had nearly as much experience with it. You know, I had done in concert the role of Bess twice.
Oh, wow.
Like Berlin Philharmonic. I jumped in for somebody. I learned it really fast and did it as Bess, which is how I first met Angel Blue and Tashina Vaughn and a lot of the people, you know, Angel was Clara.
Wow.
And let me tell you, this woman came up there, she opened her mouth for Summertime. Woof.
Yeah.
I was just like, she has got it. I mean, what luxury casting, you know what I mean? And just everybody was like Willard White. Sir Willard White was Porgy. I'm just like,
wow.
I mean, I was just taken aback, you know what I mean? It was just such an amazing experience, but it was in concert. Yeah. And then the next time I did it was also in concert in Latvia, like some years later, 4 years later. So my only experience with Porgy is this. So I was a little green, you know, coming into the rehearsals and stuff. There were things that maybe traditionally I didn't do like other girls, and my sound wasn't like other girls. And so it was hard. So when I got to opening night, I was very nervous. I felt the pressure just from the ensemble, from my colleagues, more than the audience, but from them. So by the time we got to the HD, I remember I was feeling all this way about how they were feeling about me, but something in me was just like, screw it. So I walked out there that day. I said, I'm just gonna sing my heart out. And I don't care what anybody thinks about anything. This is the end. This is the last show. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I'm just no holds barred. And of course, I finally earned their respect.
Wow.
And I was thinking, I was just, God, why didn't they say anything before? And it's like, they didn't say anything before, Latonia, because you cared what they thought. Ooh. And now that you do not care and you're going out there and you're living your role, not thinking about anything else, you're golden. You got the support. You know, you believe in yourself, other people are gonna believe in you. If you believe those other people are judging you, then they're gonna do it.
Right.
They sure will, because they
Wow.
can feel it. And they
Wow.
want to judge you if you go out like that. And that's exactly what they did. So it taught me a very, very big lesson. So when I came back this time around for Porgy, I mean, it was gangbusters from day one. I was just like, forget this, you know what I mean? Like, you
Yeah.
know, I've earned their respect. You know, I'm a part of the club now. I just felt so good. I felt so embraced. But I was the only one holding myself back.
Wow.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah. Well, you were absolutely extraordinary. I saw it both times. And you're just show-stopping. So
Thank you. I
yeah.
mean, look, it's Gershwin didn't do too bad. Okay,
You did all
writing,
right.
you know,
You did
such a
all right.
stunner of an aria.
You could write a tune. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that my man's gone now. Let me tell you. I mean,
Oh,
I've been singing that aria since I was 18, or
wow.
before actually, because it's a jazz tune. So I mean, maybe the first time I sang it, I was maybe 15, but I
Wow.
sang it an octave down. You know what I mean? Sarah Vaughan style,
Yeah.
like Nina Simone, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So the aria I was very familiar with before. And that's why I was begging to be able to do it in companies. My old manager, Matthew Lafer, I remember I was like, Matthew, can you not get me into any of these Porgy and Besses? I mean, I'm telling you, years would just go by. I mean, just nothing. I'm just like, I said, tell him I'll sing the Strawberry Woman. He said, come on
That's a
now. And I
great
was like,
role.
I'm desperate. I mean, the Strawberry Woman, first of all, is one of the
Amazing.
most incredible features.
Yeah.
Another track on that recording that I think got us this
Disgusting.
young lady. I
Disgusting.
mean,
She's
she
amazing.
was just so fantastic. Leah Hawkins. I mean,
Yep.
the Crab Man, Chauncey Packer. I mean, every little detail, just so much fun, just so fresh and great. But yeah, you know what I mean? I was just like, I'll do anything to get into Porgy, please, you know, and they're just like, we already have this soprano. We already have this soprano. It was usually Karen Slack. And I was like, dang, Karen is good.
She is good. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you can't hate on it, because you're like, they're hiring her for a reason. She's good, man. She's good as Serena. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, fine. I mean, maybe one day she'll have a conflict and I'll get one of these contracts. But it took forever. So it was for me, like, I guess I wanted to be in Porgy from as early as like 2003 or 4.
Right.
And so I didn't get to do an actual production of it as Serena till 2018.
Wow.
Unwavering faith, right? I'm just like, it'll happen.
Yeah. Well, and here's such a showbiz moment is that, you know, you're talking about wanting a role that Karen has, and then you sing the role that Karen did in St. Louis in Fire Shut Up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The role of Billy. And let me tell you, it just, there's something about this opera, aside from just the subject matter that's already so gripping, but that role, let me tell you, the first clip I had heard was actually of Karen singing one of the first aria on YouTube, and it just touched my heart so much. It was just like, what is this opera? You know, I didn't know much about it. Yeah. And when they asked me to do it, you know, I don't think it had much to do with anything but the fact that I'd just done Serena there. And they're like, we really love you to do Billy, right?
Yeah, we need you.
And so I said, well, let me look at the score. I was like, because I really want to see what it actually is. Now, aside from the fact that it was actually a mezzo role,
right,
and it was intended for a mezzo, it was so fantastic that when I opened it up from the very first page, which didn't have an overture initially, I opened it up from the very first page and I was hooked. Yeah. When Charles sings, tears from a walled off place of another time, from a boy who couldn't cry. I was just like, what's going on? I didn't actually know what happened. I didn't know the story. Yeah. So I remember I was sitting in France in the middle of the night from jet lag, and I read the whole thing cover to cover, everybody's parts. Right. And I was a puddle of tears in the end, because my character, the reason why I decided to even do this opera is because my character is basically my mother, but how I wish she would have reacted to all of the things in life. Wow. You know what I mean? Like the things that happened in her marriage, just at home, with work, with school, and all those things. I wish that she would have done that. Wow. You know, so it was very important for me to do that role, to sort of, I don't know, get it out of my system, everything that my mom went through. But even more important for her to see it and to watch me, a mini her, be that on stage and make a different choice than she made. We still haven't actually discussed how she feels about what she saw. Wow. I mean, it's probably so strange to talk about, you know, to watch your cheating husband and to have 5 kids just like her, and she has a Charles, you know, my brother is Charles, you know what I mean? Like it was just so many parallels in life, and also from the South, you know what I mean? Just it was a lot, you know what I mean, and a lot to take. But I mean, I did it because I wanted to show her that it didn't matter. And it goes back to the beginning of our conversation about perseverance. Doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how long it's going to take you to lift yourself out of whatever pit you're in. You can still do it. And like, look at what happened to this boy. And now look at him, Charles Blow. He's Charles Blow now. This Charles baby, this little boy. After everything he went through, look at him now. His mom, after everything, she went back to school. She got 2 degrees. I mean, it's insane.
Incredible.
How this opera was, you know what I mean? And it just, and I grew as a mother, even doing the show, because another aspect also that's very like my mother, and the same as the character Billy Blow, is physical affection. You know, I lacked it. My mom was just not the type. She still isn't. And I wanted her to see me do that to another child on stage. And me doing it even showed me how sometimes I'm that way with my own children. Because my mother would be like, oh, you know, like, ugh. You know, sometimes I'll be like, okay, leave me alone. You know, like, just go. Yeah, I love you too, sure, whatever. You know, and sometimes I would do that with my children. And from the moment that I read that score in early 2020, I never did that with my kids again. If they wanted affection, I stopped the world to give it to them. I don't care what I'm doing. If they were here right now, they're in France right now, actually. But if they were here right now and one of them come over here and they wanted a hug, y'all would just have to watch it, okay?
I'd be glad to,
I mean, especially over the pandemic, you know, like they really wanted that affection, and they wanted a lot more because I was always home, which wasn't typical. I was always traveling. Usually they didn't see me that much, not face to face. They saw me like you're seeing me now, okay? But, you know, I was home for 18 months straight. And I was always with them. And so for them, you know, like even to see me on the Zoom and stuff, they just like, sometimes they would come up and just be like, Mom, I just want to say hi. And I'm like, okay. And I keep talking, give all the love and just do my thing, but I'd give it. I wouldn't shoo them away. You know what I mean? So this was, I don't know. I learned a lot from doing a show like Fire, you know, and I'm sure that Karen did when she learned the role too, because I don't know about Karen's mom and her relationship with her, but I'm sorry, no matter what, not even just those specific characters, in every character you can see yourself. You know, it's such a, especially for an artist, what a story for Charles Blow, you know what I mean? Because all of us were peculiar to some degree.
Peculiar, great.
In some way, that's why we're artists, I mean, and that's why we do it, because we have to express that peculiarity. Because if we don't, and it's bottled up inside, we feel like something is wrong with us.
It's
and ain't nothing wrong. We just need to channel it. We need to let out all that fabulous, you know, that's all it is. But, you know, but Fire Shut Up in My Bones is a true story about someone who was stifled. And then after a while said, that's it. I am what I am. My roots run deep, he says. You know, I'm not a mistake. I'm a man. I own my life. I will make my own decisions and nobody's going to hold me back. I mean, oh man, I'm getting all teary just thinking about it. I have it coming up again in Chicago. It's actually my debut there. Chicago.
Oh my God.
Fire My Bones. Again with Will Liverman, who's just so friggin' stunning. I mean, he had me, he was always in tears. Let me tell you, like, I can't imagine being in his shoes, you know, having to play a character that has a million things going on in your head and ends up saying it, and then has another character that is his actual conscience, you know, which was Angel, you know what I mean? It's also him. And then the character of Billy is just a memory, his memory of what probably happened. But it's never exactly like you think, especially, I mean, it takes place at the beginning, he's 7 years old, you know what I mean? So he remembers it, but you know, in his own way, right? So it's all like, when you're up on stage and you have to play a character where every character stems from your brain, I don't know how Will handled it. I think some rehearsals were very, very hard for him.
Sure.
As they should have been, right? Because Terrence, when he got us in the room for the first, like, you know, round top table basically talk, he said, I need you all to be real. Just be real and go ahead and take it in. And if that means it doesn't sound perfect, don't look pretty, it's okay. He said, I just need you to be real. And so most of the time, Will was crying. Most of the time, sorry, Will, if you see this, baby, you know, you was woo, he was waterworks. But the amazing thing about it is, heck, he was willing to go there.
Yeah.
Think about how many singers, no matter what the opera is, how many singers are not willing to go over the line because they are so terrified of sacrificing perfection.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like, I'll be perfect if I don't feel.
Right.
Okay, well, guess what? The audience ain't gonna feel nothing either.
Yeah.
And all they're gonna hear is a machine.
Yeah.
You know, so what's the point in you being there if you're gonna be a machine? We can get a robot for that. And
Yeah.
Lord knows that they're coming. The opera singers are coming. Don't worry.
They are.
You know, watch.
Yeah.
2106.
Yeah.
Perfect too. Perfect intonation. No flaws.
Oh dear.
Except, you know, that one flaw, unfortunately, that it takes to make an opera is that you need humans. Yeah.
You do.
You really, really do.
Yeah, you really do. Oh my goodness. Well, this has been extraordinary. Thank you so much for your generosity of spirit and sharing from your heart and such strength and just beautiful. There's 2 more questions I must ask you. Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right. If you can go back in time to any moment in your life and tell your younger self one thing, what would it be?
Just one thing. Man, let's see, what would I warn her about? Well, okay, maybe it's not the most kosher thing, but wait, save it. Don't give it up too soon, Latonia. You'll regret it.
That's totally fair.
That's probably the only thing that I want to fix. I would like to make it more special and it not be that typical story.
No, I love that. I love that.
I shouldn't have given it up so soon. It's probably one of my few regrets. But, you know, I did. And so, you know, I was a quick learner too, you know, so that meant that when I did, you know, come of age where I was mature enough to make the right decisions regarding men, I knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
But man, I wish I would have waited a little longer.
I love that the answer is not about your career because it actually demonstrates exactly what you said, that the challenges were really important to your path.
Yes, absolutely. Because, you know, I think about how I was supposed to go to Westminster Choir College and then we couldn't afford it at the very last minute. And I had to stay at home for the semester and work and go to North Texas. And, you know, then I moved to Philadelphia for a year, only had $400. And I mean, even when I made my Met debut, I was homeless. I was sleeping on Michael Fabiano's couch. I had nowhere to live. All my stuff was pushed into his corner because I had no money. I didn't have any work. I mean, I wouldn't change it.
Wow.
I'm all right with the fact that that happened to me.
Yeah.
Good thing it happened. I don't ever take housing for granted.
Yeah. Yeah.
I tell you, no matter where I'm staying, I'm just like, does the toilet work? Thank God for toilets. Thank God for a roof over my head and a real bed to sleep in right now, because I didn't always have it.
Yeah.
And Lord knows I wouldn't appreciate it nearly as much if I always had my, you know, high thread count, you know, king size bed. Sometimes a little, you know, deprivation is good for you.
Yeah.
You know, so no changes there. Just, you know, maybe holding out.
Got it. Well, my final question for you is, Latonia, what is the meaning of life?
The meaning of life. Okay, I guess if I had to say what's the meaning, I don't know if there really is one, man. And that is the God's honest truth. I don't know if there's really a meaning. I don't know if there's, you know, like a purpose of life, really. All I can definitively say is that we have a life. It's brilliant because you're able to make choices. You can direct it and live it in any kind of way. I mean, life is a gift. What does it mean? I have no idea, but thank God I've got it. You know, it's incredible. I mean, there was a time that I didn't know if I wanted to be alive. I'm like, oh, because you get so depressed. Sure. Sometimes, you know, this didn't work out and you want to keep believing, but then you go, I just don't know, you know? And I remember that day, and then I woke up the next day, and when I woke up, I mean, this is when I was 20. And when I woke up, I was like, oh my God, I woke up, I'm alive. I went to sleep going, because you know how dramatic people are. I don't want to wake up, I'm so sad, I'm heartbroken, okay?
Yeah.
For whatever reason, you're heartbroken, you're devastated, you don't want to get up. I woke up that next day. I remember I cried my eyes out. And the next day, like I just had little puffy puffs, for eyes. And I was just like, oh my God, I woke up. I can't believe it.
Wow.
And I never looked back. There was never any day, no matter how bad my life got. And I mean, come on, I'm recently divorced. I mean, things happen,
Yeah.
and they're not good sometimes, okay?
No.
I still don't regret my marriage, by the way. I'm glad I was married to him. I love him. He's wonderful, but not the one for me,
Sure.
but a beautiful partner as far as parentage. You know what I mean? Like it's been very, very good now, especially, so there have been things and dark times, but like, dang, man, the fact that you're like waking up, like, and you wake up every day is a complete miracle. It's much of a miracle as childbirth is, millions of little, and then it made just one of them got in there. You just happened to come to pass. You, Zachary James, you know what I mean?
Yep.
You just happened to be the one that made it. And now look at you. It is phenomenal. Wake up every day and appreciate it.
Yeah.
Why not? You are alive and you will not always be.
No.
What does it mean? Whatever you want it to mean, man. Just please live it. Oh my. Don't take it for granted. Think about all those souls that probably wish they were still alive.
Yeah.
The people you wish were still alive.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you got to believe that something about their energy, it's your burden now. Their energy is on you. Mm-hmm. Take all the good that you can for those who have passed, and you keep living so that they can keep living. Like I said, this is how Maria Callas is still alive, right?
Right.
She lives through us.
Yes.
Because of me, because of you.
Yes.
You know what I mean? This is why we remember everyone of the past. Martin Luther King Day just happened. It's because we keep it going, right?
Right.
So in essence, yeah, maybe a person leaves, but they don't ever leave you. Whatever you were to them and they were to you, you carry that memory. You carry that energy now. It's up to you to live for them. You know what I mean? So get out there and do it, y'all. I'm such a cheerleader, but get out there and freaking live, okay?
All right.
Please.
Well, thank you. What a breath of fresh air. Thank you so much. And thank you.
Well, thank you, good honey. And you do have to cut me off because I will ramble on all day.
I'm probably never.
And anybody in Dallas, y'all all know full well I will talk till the cows come home and leave again and come back. I'll still be talking.
I love that. Well, we have to mention that you're starring in Butterfly with Dallas Opera.
I am. My very favorite role, y'all. Oh my gosh. Cho-Cho-san in Puccini's Madama Butterfly. For Dallas Opera, I was a competition winner back in 1997 or 98. Okay. And then I debuted as Micaela in 2004. Wow. In Carmen. And then I sang Aida in 2012. And then now I'm back in 2022 for Butterfly. So I'm so in love with the Dallas Opera. I mean, the fact that a company, there were times where I couldn't go, scheduling didn't work out, but that kind of span, I mean, I'm a Dallas Opera baby for life. Don't care where I go and where else I sing. I love the Dallas Opera, hardcore. Y'all know I do. Oh my gosh. And I just can't wait. I'm so excited to be back.
Yeah, I'll be there right after you with Flight. So
yes. Okay. Well, then we'll probably cross over because I think Will Liverman might be in Flight as well.
Yes, he is.
Because we're doing Fire Shut Up My Bones, and he's coming a little bit late to Chicago because he'll be doing Flight in Dallas.
Okay.
So maybe we can all get together and
all right.
Do a
yeah,
hey.
I'll find you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, till we meet again, be well. Thank you so much. It's fabulous. And
same to you, Zach. Thank you for having me. It was such a treat to see a message from you. I'm like, Zachary James. Oh no. Come on. Really, just gorgeous and bravo for everything. I mean, you're fantastic. What an amazing presence. I mean, and especially to do something like Akhenaten, it's a challenge. It's not what everybody thinks. It's not just speaking. It's not just, singing even. It's something else, sort of like this. It's all atmospheric, yes? So bravissimo. I thought you were wonderful in it. Wow.
Thank you very much.
I did.
Very special. Can't wait to do it again. And of course, also a show that originated at our beloved ENO, who was.
Oh yes, absolutely. Phelim McDermott, honey.
Love Phelim.
Phelim's fantastic, and I actually. It was hard working with him because he's not the typical opera director, and that was frustrating for me.
You did Aida.
I was Aida, at ENO, and I was just I was expecting tradition, and
Yeah.
he was doing anything but, and I was resistant.
Yeah.
But when I fell into his vibe, it was magical. So yeah, really incredible.
He is quite magical. Yeah, I've done I think 9 productions with him now. He's like majorly responsible for my success, and yeah, yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so we met
Well,
on Broadway doing The Addams Family. That's where I met Phelim, and he said, "Hey, I want you to audition for Philip Glass." Yeah, and that's how I got into opera, like full time.
oh my gosh, what a story.
Weird, right? Really weird. Yeah.
And also,
Yeah.
what a way to get in.
Yeah,
I
Phelim.
mean, this is not the story you usually hear
No.
about somebody's path to the Met.
No, it's very, very odd.
But
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, and then to be on the Met stage in a speaking role, but Grammy nom, come on, like amazing. It's very, very interesting. And I'll tell you ever so quickly, because this is kind of reminiscent of your original story about being at the Grammys and 25 years ago winning. So when I first moved to New York, I too had like absolutely no money, very struggling, didn't know how I was eating, had holes in my shoes, all of it. You know the story. And so I pick up a copy of Backstage, and when it was a newspaper and not just a website, and there was an advertisement to be a supernumerary at the Met in Aida. And so I went to that audition, and I got one of the soldiers marching across. I just moved to New York. They're like, "Here's your loincloth, here's your wig, walk across the stage, here's $20," right? But I just remember being on that stage, and I had to stand there for 5 minutes, and I looked out and I said, "I'll be back here on this stage. I'll be standing on this stage doing something." And I just felt it, and very similar to you in that Grammy moment. And it took a long time, but yeah, these things happen.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, sometimes it does, that kind of manifestation, right? If you're really trying to get it to happen, it is going to take some time. I mean, how amazing it would be if everything we wanted just happened like that.
Sure.
But the journey's beautiful though, right?
It is beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. Can I tell you one last thing? And this is something there's these answers when you're asking for something. It's either to God or the universe, your higher power, whatever you think. You want something so bad, right? Just so bad. And the answer is, there's 3 possible answers. Yes, but not right now. Or no, I have something better in mind for you. And that really helps me with rejection and the winding nature of the path and these challenges that you're talking about and I'm talking about. It's just
I love thinking about it that way. It just keeps it keeps, no matter what the answer is, you find it to be positive.
Yeah.
No, because there's something better.
Yeah. And a lot of times,
not right now,
no,
but yes.
Yeah. And the no can be so much better
amazing.
than the yes. The no can be so much better than the yes. And you can really, kind of be in places beyond your imagination, because there's bigger plans for you.
Very true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna let you go. It's magic.
That's okay. The next interview is gonna be me interviewing you.
Okay,
We'll
okay.
see which one is longer.
All right. Well, I hope to see you in Dallas, and happy trails till we meet again.
All right, honey. Same to you.
That's all for today's episode. Puppies and rainbows till we meet again.